Okay, last week we decided that we were going to use a blank like this, and we figured out exactly where we were going to cut the blank. The next thing you really want to know is how opaque is this going to be? In other words, do you have to paint the tubes, and if so, what color would you paint the tubes? So the first thing that you do in order to figure that out, at least I do, is to figure out what you're dealing with. I have a cigar pen that I'm going to make. The cigar pen bushing for the nib, and if we take the outside diameter of the cigar pen bushing, you can see that it says 460, which is this number up here. It's 460. Then we look at the tube outside diameter, and that is 380. So we then enter the tube outside diameter of 380. Because we're taking the amount of material that's left, you subtract those two from each other and you end up with 8/100ths of an inch. But that's the total amount that's left. You need to divide that by 2 because you're then coming down to the amount that will be on any one part of the blank. In other words, you're taking the diameter and dividing by 2 so that you have the amount of material that's really left. In other words, you're left with 040. So what we're going to do is set this for 040, and you can see that the amount that's left is not much. So if we take this and figure out, okay, we've got the blank like this, how bad is it going to be? How opaque is it going to be? How translucent? The way that I've found to figure that out, and I've stolen it from somebody on IAP, I wish I remembered who, but somebody showed us how to do this a long time ago. The answer is to take off a little piece of this end. So I take off a little piece of the end and I get a slice like this. Now that slice is 040 somewhere. Okay, it's not very uniform, but that's kind of helpful to me because if I look at this, I can tell that it's hitting right about in the middle. So essentially, this is the spot, that spot right there, is about what I'm actually going to see when I get my pen finished. It's going to look about like that. You'll notice that this is polished. I polished the end of it, sanded it, and so forth before I cut it off. Now you're down to figuring out, okay, you can certainly see through it. How much can you see through it, and what color would you like it to be? I've made this fantastic stick. All it is a bunch of different colors that were taken from dry marks. I put this on a lathe, ran it, and made the colors go around so that I can see what it would look like. For example, with a purple background, it would look quite good. If I went to a red, it would be obvious that it was a red. If you go to any other color, blue is not going to look great. You could obviously use black tubes if you wanted to. We can always use black. And ideally you would look at this with backlighting so that you can tell what it would look like when you're looking at a pen. But that's the way that I determine what color will look good behind it. In this case, it would be either this purple or this purple that I would choose to put behind that. And again, I'm looking at the spot that's about the same thickness as the amount that I'm going to have left when I turn the pen. That's all there is to figuring it out. Thank you for watching this video. Go out and make yourself a brilliant stick, and hopefully you'll come back the next time for the inside of painting the tube. We'll be doing this pen and completing the tube and paint the tube. Till next week, this is Ed. Thanks for watching. Bye now.